He hung for 9 days, 9 nights, no food, no water, wounded by his own spear dangling over the abyss, not as punishment, not as execution, but as a choice, a voluntary act of suffering in pursuit of something more valuable than comfort, more precious than safety. He was Odin, the Allfather of the Norse gods, and he would sacrifice anything, even himself, to understand the secrets of the universe. To the Vikings and Norse peoples who told his stories for over 1,000 years, Odin was not a distant, perfect deity. He was complex, contradictory, terrifying, wise. He was the god of war and wisdom, of death and poetry, of magic and madness. The highest of the Aesir gods, ruler of Asgard, the realm of the divine. He sat upon Hlidskjalf, his throne at the peak of the cosmos, from which he could see all the 9 worlds at once. 2 ravens perched on his shoulders, Hugin and Munin, thought and memory. Every morning he sent them out across the world. Every evening they returned and whispered into his ears all they had seen and heard. 2 wolves, Geri and Freki, lay at his feet. He carried Gungnir, the spear that never missed its mark, forged by the dwarf craftsmen of Nidavellir. But Odin was not born with all this power. He earned it, at terrible cost, and the most famous price he ever paid was the sacrifice of his eye. At the base of Yggdrasil, the world tree that connects all 9 realms, lies Mimir's well, the well of cosmic memory, of ultimate wisdom. Its waters hold the knowledge of all things that have ever happened and all things that ever will be. Odin came to that well and asked to drink. Mimir, its guardian, agreed, for one price, an eye. Odin did not hesitate. He gouged out his own eye and dropped it into the well. And he drank. And in that moment, the veil between the known and unknown tore open. He saw what others could not, the nature of fate itself. But even that sacrifice was not enough for Odin. There was knowledge beyond wisdom, the runes. Not just letters, but cosmic forces. Symbols that contained the laws of reality itself. To wield them was to command creation. The runes could not simply be learned or taught. They had to be seized through ordeal. They existed somewhere beyond the veil, accessible only to those who had passed through the threshold of death. And so Odin hanged himself from Yggdrasil. 9 days, 9 nights. He forbade any of the other gods to help him. He stabbed himself with Gungnir to ensure the wound was real. He stared down into the void, Ginnungagap, the primordial abyss from which all creation arose. No one fed him, no one gave him water. He endured the cold, the hunger, the pain, the vertigo of hanging above nothing. He descended to the edge of death, not to die, but to touch it, to reach through it. And on the 9th night, through agony and madness, he saw them. The runes rose up from the darkness below, burning with cold light. He seized them. He screamed, he fell, and he rose again, possessing a power that reshaped his existence. Now he could cast runes to heal the sick and wake the dead. He could blunt enemy swords and shatter chains. He could command the winds, speak to the fallen, and see the hidden pathways of fate. Why did Odin seek wisdom so desperately? The answer is carved into the heart of Norse mythology, Ragnarok. Odin knew the future. He had seen it at Mimir's well. He knew that at the end of time, a great twilight would come. The wolf Fenrir would break his chains. The Midgard serpent would rise from the ocean. Loki and his monstrous children would lead the armies of chaos against the gods of Asgard. And Odin knew that he would die, swallowed whole by Fenrir. But this knowledge did not paralyze him. It drove him. Every warrior who died bravely in battle was chosen by his Valkyries and brought to Valhalla, Odin's great hall, not just to feast and celebrate, but to train. An army of the dead, the Einherjar, drilling for the final battle. Odin was not seeking escape from fate, he was preparing for it. And in his endless quest for knowledge, he wandered the 9 worlds in disguise, a grey-cloaked traveller, one eye hidden, a wide-brimmed hat pulled low. He sat with mortals at their fires and asked questions. He traded wisdom for stories. He tested heroes. He manipulated and maneuvered and meddled, always learning, always seeking the one piece of knowledge that might change the outcome. Odin's influence stretches across centuries. His name is embedded in Wednesday, Woden's Day in the old Germanic tongue. His one-eyed image has inspired countless portrayals of the wandering wise man, the sacrificing deity, the god who chooses knowledge over comfort. The Norse people who told his tales were not worshipping a comfortable god. They were worshipping a god who showed that the greatest things, wisdom, power, understanding, come only through sacrifice. That fate is not something to be feared, but prepared for. That courage is not the absence of knowing what awaits, but the willingness to face it anyway. Odin never stopped searching. Even as Ragnarok approached, even knowing his fate, he sought one more secret, one more insight, one more rune carved in the dark. Because for the Allfather, the search was not separate from life, it was the point of it.